Okay, next most dangerous design flaw in humanity on the list would be this phenomenon right here. I have been placed because of this system in a really annoying, fucking difficult place where I'm not getting paid. It's hard for me to figure out. I've no clear, I've kind of exposed my chest fully and I'm out on a limb, hanging by a thread, like by my little finger, in a scramble to try and bring this to everyone's awareness that cigarettes kill you. Oh, sorry, that the size of our screens matter, and a couple of other things. That is a basic design flaw. You cannot, it's bad enough to not even incentivize, observation and reporting of massive catastrophic failures in our design of our systems. We need clear processes, transparent public. We have a big machine here, and it's dangerous. It's like any machine that's dangerous. I've been pulling these star pickets out, and it's quite heavy logs, and a block and tackle, and some rope, and some there's those four things. If say a 10-year-old, a really ambitious 10-year-old attempted to do what I've been trying to do the last couple, it's like there is a really good chance they will kill themselves with those four things. There is a tremendous amount of power in four simple, and I'm not exaggerating. We know this. We don't let 10-year-olds have chainsaws and things but it doesn't, unfortunately, in the world, because I've had a lot of responsibility doing this, it doesn't break down to just 10-year-olds. It is the inexperienced need to supervised experience to do potentially dangerous things, whether they're dangerous for the individual or whether they're dangerous for everyone. This is like we wouldn't give a box of matches to a bunch of 10-year-olds and give them responsibility, say, all right, kids, go burn off. In Australia, that would be catastrophic. Now, the fact that we have that experiment going on, just with the lack of the fact that statistically some children will escape the house with matches, lighters, even more increasingly portable batteries that they will leave in the bush that will catch fire at some point. This risk has gone through the roof. It was very difficult to make fire. I think personally that's a design feature, not a flaw, is that fire used to be hard to make. This springs to mind because I just went to the shop and bought a lighter because I wanted to smoke the resin that I scraped out of my pipe that I was telling you about earlier on. And my lighter went missing somewhere. Never mind. In this day and age, it's quite easy to get a lighter. That's a dangerous thing. That makes me feel uncomfortable, to be honest. To have a rather large cohort of uneducated, unexperienced 10-year-olds wandering around that could potentially, have not just one lighter, maybe a myriad of flammable products at their disposal, and perhaps not understanding the fundamentals of the Australian bush, not being correctly raised as a, cautious, pioneering type generation, but more a imported and artificially security blanketed occupation that has a very different mindset of this place. Now, quite a, well-known West Australian person, and one of the richest people in this country. His name's Andrew Forrest. I was working on his station. It's called Minderoo up north. And I was smoking a cigarette up there. A couple of people smoked. And I think we'd strayed outside this kind of area. His farm manager there, or the station manager, huge guy, massive guy, like just massive, arms like tree trunks, just a huge giant guy. I've never been grilled at more. I've never been yelled at or kind of think more than any other period in my life than that moment there. Now, I get it. I was a young guy, whatever. I took it but I also took it seriously. I went, they're dead serious. Well, he didn't have to yell, but sometimes you do. Like, that's such a serious problem there. That level of yelling was appropriate, and I especially think that now. So it's you can be both things. You can be pissed off and be like, this is a quite often feeling young guys will have if they're getting the grilling. But he was right. He's fucking dead right. He's like, don't you fucking, like, not even, I can't even do it because it was part of his presence. He's a big fucking dude. Honestly, he'd snap me over his leg, and I'm not that small. But that's kind of, when you're chasing after bulls in the middle of the desert and, you got a few generations doing it, holy shit, they're real men up there. I wouldn't ever claim to be, I'd tread lightly around them. I wouldn't go say they had, I'd be very gentle with mine. How I discussed certain matters with them in a physical space, because there's a good chance if you tick him off, he may kill you, and you might disappear off in the fucking distance of that far off land, and there might be a story about. Anyway, I'm not saying that's how. Obviously, none of that works like that, because it's a huge, big company now. There's a lot of regulation and things, and that's probably a good thing. But, it would take a special kind of fuckwit to, like, report someone for a warning like that, just based on the tone and the things they were saying. I think there was probably swearing, and there was probably, lots of things. Maybe you dumb fucking ignorant cunt. Like, I was with some backpackers, so maybe he didn't like them. They were from, like, Ireland, and there was one from America and one from somewhere else. But yeah, it's a special kind of dickhead to not understand that fire in the wrong place can kill people very quickly. So, yeah, probably that would be a huge thing that I would I would be sorting out right now. If I was in a position to do that, I would be drilling into the population of this place that fire is incredibly dangerous. We have no idea how to build a place that isn't really dangerous here yet. We got to figure that out. It's difficult. And the model of suburbia doesn't accurately give you any clues to the actual severity of a couple of problems that are going on in this state right now. Remember again, Perth is that little dot of suburbia, that's that little dot. The rest of Western Australia has a lot of problems. And so that's a collective West Australian issue. It's not an issue of the couple of people still doing it tough in the disposed of thousands of hectares of land. Like, no, this is a West Australian issue and will be dealt with by the West Australian people, disconnected from any interference from a masquerading lunatic fool who can't see his hand in front of his face. He can't see how ridiculously exposed he is in this simple argument that is, that is, with our interaction with our environments and things like farming and our misuse of, these are issues, these are 10,000-year-old issues. The issue of kids using the internet, that's a right now issue, yeah. And so there's a whole lot going wrong in the way we look at things, and it's never been so. So we have tiny little population being in control of a huge land base that's been destroyed. That doesn't make sense, and they're uneducated and unexperienced in that environment, like I was with the cigarette up on Minduru. But not just that, we have a political class that is arguing for their involvement into your family's lives while playing strange, simplistic mind games with thousands of hectares of land that was destroyed by misuse, and doesn't understand the scale of the damage that removing an economic reason to have livestock on the ground, and we need and using that experience of that region to restore and to come up with strategies is incredibly. I mean, it's either being used as, because it's like they say, oh, you've got time to do this. It's like, no, they don't, and they don't have the energy, and they haven't got anything. They're looking at, they're like, let us keep the sheep, or I'm going to kill myself. You know what I mean? And this is fucking crazy. And there's no help. This is Western Australia. Is this far larger region that needs attention? It needs love and attention. It needs passion. It needs all the things that would result in having someone out there. And not to mention, so they're out there, that we're going to lose that experience. We're going to lose that on the ground struggle. We need to hear that story of struggle, because it's a difficult one, and it's a story of human failure at an epic proportion. And we need every scrap of information from those individuals right now. And so we need this is a matter of this is a national, state. But let's start saying national. WA national. This is a Western Australian national fucking emergency. And the idea that those thousands and thousands of hectares are going to just magically turn into something where the economics of that have never been more confusing and strange and disconnected, because of this ever-increasing escalation into artificial and fictitious means of asset store and value storage that are breaking away from things like agricultural land. And there's, this is a frenzy. This is a coke bender. This is a meth binge society. This is nothing to do with anything that is rational and in the best interest of the population. All this growth is madness from people that are living in battery cages, that have never experienced anything like what true humanity has spent the majority of its time doing. It's a radically dangerous experiment, and I'm not participating at any cost. I'm trying to do everything I can to snap my fingers and get some attention and some waking up, I'll pull the fucking plug out. I don't know. These are, this is where we actually are. I'm sorry that we are. There is a process to go through to be in that situation, but this is where we are. But that process can be just as beautiful as digging things out of holes and putting them back in holes. The repair of the earth is an equally viable economic base to base a civilization on. So, and it comes down to the square meterage of healthy, organically thriving soil. This is the measurement that we need to bring to bear. And I would value that. Oh, hang on a sec. No, we'll finish. Higher than gold.